Hello, good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching from. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, and welcome to this analysis on SRP, BTC, ADA, LTC. So the crypto market, we're going to be analyzing a lot of altcoins today, especially SRP. So if you're just joining us, make sure that you click that like button and subscribe if you find this analysis useful. Thank you. So the ADA, just like every other altcoin, especially SRP, really few days back, SRP company has some issues with the SEC, right? So it affected the coin, and there was a lot of sell pressure that took place, right, on SRP. There was a lot of dump. So today we're going to really look at SRP because I'm seeing some good buy signals showing up in SRP. So if we look at SRP right now, if we look at SRP right now, you can see what happened just a few days ago. It's been on the dump side. Things hasn't been really looking any good for the SRP, just like it's looking for BTC. BTC has really been doing very good, unlike SRP. SRP really, the dump affected the market. So today we're going to really be diving into the chart, and so I'll be diving into the analysis now. Thank you for joining us. So we have SRP, and looking at the chart, we're going to be using the daily chart for analysis today. Thank you for joining us in today's altcoin and BitCoin live analysis. I'm seeing a really huge buy sign on SRP, but I still see it between the triangle pattern, which could go sideways for a while, but we could see some upward movement. You see towards the upside. Like if you look at the daily chart after the dump, we seem to have an inside bar, right? On the daily chart, we seems to have an inside bar. So an inside bar, we're going to be likely be expecting a breakout from the inside bar, right? So an inside bar means sideways movement on a lower time frame. Meanwhile, this is our daily time frame. So if we look at the 15 minutes chart, we see SRP going sideways. So let's take a look at the 15 minutes chart, and you see SRP is going sideways. You see the move hasn't been so pure since the dump. It's been trying to accumulate some volume. It made an upward move around here, but you can see it's still within that range. It's still within that sideways range, and it is respecting this is the 15 minutes chart, mind you. So on the 15 minutes chart, we see that it's been respecting the trend line since the dump, right? It's still respecting the trend line, right? So this trend line, if we go to daily chart, you see that this trend line is just, look at it. If you look at the trend line, you see that I draw it. So if this trend line, if this today's chart is likely closing bullish, it's likely going to have a breakout to the upside, right? So since it's a sideways, so price is still moving on in between this upper resistance and the support. So we need a break between the two. Most especially, we confirm that the price is becoming bullish when price closes above this long red candle, right? So thank you for watching. So we could be seeing some upward movement to the upside on XRP, and that could bring more players on board, because right now XRP, first of all, have to see more players on board, right? We need more players on board on XRP right now. We need more players on board on XRP right now. Like, we need more buy pressure. I need to see more volume, but at the stage where it is, we're seeing that the stage where it is right now is also, it also happens to be the sideways where it broke out from. I'm sorry about my background noise. Today's celebration, so everybody seems to be in the celebration mood. Today's Christmas, so everybody's celebration, so celebrating. So do bear with me about the background noise. So we can see that we're seeing some buy pressure increasing, but we need to see a break to the upside, right? XRP, we need to see a break to the upside. This is the daily chart. So looking at the 4 hours chart, we're going to see some changes taking place, right? So we see this bullish engulf engulfing right here, right? This is a bullish engulfing, but we can also see that the pressure is on the downside, and I have also tried to draw the connect the tops, the lower tops that is falling so far. So from here now, I'm expecting that price could crawl up all the way to 0.5 zone, to 0.45 to 0.55 zone, right? We could see the move to that side, and now there could be a pressure because of the sell pressure right now. It might not break out instantly here, right? So we could see it still coming down to retest the low. Now when it retests the low, there are a lot of chances that we could see a higher low, or it could break this support, right? So if you look at this support, it's been a support that has been in position for a very long time in XRP. So if we go to higher time frame like the daily chart now, you're going to see that this support has been in play for years. Like, when I mean years, I mean years. So while my chart load, you could see BTC also making up his own move. BTC right now is looking very interesting. Okay. But right now I still see the range that XRP has fallen into, this range. So if you look here, if you look at XRP, you see this range has been in play for a very long time. So you see, this is our daily chart. So you see this zone has been like a great support for XRP for quite some time, right? You see this sideways movement, right? And it broke it somewhere around here. So this is my support. I'm supposed to take it down. This is where the support is. Okay. This is where the resistance is. Sorry, not support. This is our resistance. So you see, this is the upward breakout that happened here. The upward breakout happened here, right? And it fell back to retest this support, right? The resistance, once it was broken here, it became a support. But because of the pressure of the sell that happened, and as well as the result of the news that hit XRP a few days back, we see that support not holding up the dump that was happening, because this is supposed to serve as a support, right? Since it was a resistance broken, and when a resistance is broken, the resistance becomes support. But the good thing about this is that the lower support line is still holding, right? So you see this lower support, there's still another just below here. If I bring my my horizontal line, if I take my horizontal line on XRP and place it just here, because what we're having here is something that looks like an inverse head and shoulder, right? An inverse head and shoulder, and you see the right shoulder, you see the volume on the right shoulder, and this is the break of the inverse head and shoulder. So inverse head and shoulder, this is the left shoulder, this is our left shoulder, and this is our right shoulder, and this is the head, right? So, and you can see this becomes our neckline, right? This our resistance becomes the neckline. This is the daily chart, mind you. So telling you that all the way from 2019 all the way now it has been in sideways movement, trying to prepare for this inverse head and shoulder. So the news that hit SRP, right, is really not the really reason why SRP was really dumping, but another good reason technically is because it's coming to retest this breakout point, right? SRP came to retest this breakout point, but when you combine the news, the timing, and everything together, it starts to make a lot of sense, right? Makes a lot of sense, because most times after a breakout, and you can see the force of the breakout, right? If you look at it, you see the force of the breakout. It just reminds me of 2017, right? When SRP pumped, right? That was just something like that. So because of the pressure that it broke out with, it was easy for it to retrace, but our resistance was not strong enough to hold the retest. So the support below it being double support, you see the first support, which happens to be here. Okay, my chart is loading up. So you see that so our line is, I need to take it up a bit, right? Yes, just right here, right? Because of this touch, another touch here, and we have this support here, right? So we had this support that broke to the upside, and by the time we zoom in, we see a clearer view of the support acting again. So if I were to take away this, if I were to zoom in so that the drawings won't block the view, if I were to zoom in, you see that the support was also acting here, right? That's the support that held SRP, and you see that this is likely going to break to the upside, right? So we have chances of, if SRP breaks this inside bar to the upside and closes above the inside bar, it's going to likely come to retest this support, and then we take it up all the way to 0.55, right? So that's what I'm expecting to play out. Now there's other chances that here it doesn't get to the point of making it all the way up here. Now this is just within this period, right? This Christmas period, right? So this is likely going to play out all the way. The buy signal that I'm talking about is going to likely take place around January, right? That's where this sideways movement can go on for a while before we have a strong breakout on the daily chart. So this is not a lower time frame, mind you, this is a higher time frame chart, but this whole signal buy that you can enter at this zone to take some profit at 0.55, it's something that I would say that is valid if we break this inside back to the upside. So right, so we're going to be observing this inside bar and see how price react to it. So right, like if we have this inside bar breaking to the upside, because it is still sideways movement until we have a clear breakout. So if it breaks it to the upside, right, now I wouldn't say we were going to wait for it to break this upper entry, because that will give us a late entry. In such situations, I trade 4 hours for my daily trade, but when I want to enter a sniper entry, I try using the 15 minutes chart for my sniper entries because it's easier. And it makes my stop loss also tight, so that if the trade works, I am in and I reap my profit. If the trade doesn't work, there's no need of I cut my losses short. That's what I do. So I look at my stop loss. So that's why whenever I enter a trade, I like using a sniper entry. I trade 4 hours and I use 15 minutes for entry. So if you come to the 15 minutes chart, you see that we could be likely be testing the lower trend. So you can see that we have a bullish engulfing on the 15 minutes, so we could see some slight movement just like it did here, right? We could see some slight movement, right? So it's likely if it gets to this place, it reacts. So if I zoom in, so it's likely it's going to pull up to this place and react down, right? And then give us that W shape all the way to give us that accumulation that could take XRP to the next zone. So this point is a point of accumulation. We could see it go up and down for quite like a couple of moves, and then we could see a breakout. So we could likely see the breakout not happening instantly on the move up on this side because it's just the first and the second touch of this line. So I'm likely going to say that we could be seeing it either on this attempt, on the fourth attempt, or on the fifth attempt. But the fourth attempt seems to be more guaranteed that we could likely see the breakout taking place on the fourth attempt. Now this is the 4 hours chart, mind you, and if we zoom in on XRP, we see a very interesting pattern that has formed, and that is the bullish engulfing, like I said earlier. That's the very interesting pattern that has just formed. So while we're looking at XRP, I would like to look at BTC USDT and see what BTC has in store as well. So the chart is loading up. Let's look at BTC and see what BTC has in store while we are. Okay, you can see that BTC is quite giving us a different view, right? Though the dump happened, it wasn't as strong as it was on XRP, right? Like I said, XRP had a lot of reasons why the dump occurred. That buy pressure was so strong, right? You can think about the news that hit XRP. You can also think about the retest of that breakout from consolidation for a very long time. Now BTC on the other hand has a different entirely look of its own. Like you see, BTC has been respecting this trend line all the way from the 10k zone. So you see a lot of potentials in BTC, and you can see that the buy pressure is still on, right? You see the buy pressure, the volume is still looking good. So if I zoom in, you're going to see a very interesting patterns that are forming. So we're trying to connect the lows, right? So we see BTC, since it left the lower trend line, the support here, right, it's been hovering around the upper resistance. Now this is a bit zone to be cautious of if you're going to trade BTC, right? This is a very cautious zone, right? Why is it a cautious zone, right? You see that each time that price has touched the upper trend line, it reacted, right? Even though it tend to push up for even though the bulls tend to be persistent, each time it, like here, right, like in this zone, right, you see that even though it touched the upper trend line, the bulls were very persistent. They were like 3 attempts to break the upper trend line, but it failed, and on the third attempt you see the reaction was good dump to come to the support. So you see that here I've tried to draw the midline, right? This is the midline. This is like the midline of the channel. So if I zoom into BTC, it gets interesting here. Please, if you're just joining us, kindly subscribe. So we see BTC breaking through this resistance here. BTC has broken through this resistance, so we are likely to see BTC attempting this 25k. So we are going to likely see it attempting 25k. Now we have two chances of what is going to happen when it hits this 25k. We're likely going to see a reaction of this upper channel. We're likely going to see a reaction. Now the reaction So if we look closely at BTC, we see a breakout taking place, right? We saw the breakout happen to the downside, and that was just a retest of the breakout. This dump here was to retest this breakout. So we could see price retesting the 25k to 25,200. That is if the bull pressure continues, because I can see some good volumes building up here. Some good volumes are building up on the 1 hour chart. So we could see a move to the upside. Right. We could see a move to retest this 25k, or we could see it being a fake out that will just get to this volume. We need to see more buyers above this last high. So what I'm saying here is that we are likely going to see a retest from this breakout we're seeing here, because the breakout is so obvious, and we have a bullish green bar slashing through our resistance. So the first breakout was of this boss, breaking out of this resistance. That is the 24k to 24,200 zone, right? It broke out of the resistance there, and it came back to retest it, and the 20 exponential moving average was serving as a good support, and then we see it pulling back up, right? We see the buy pressure coming back up. So this is the breakout bar, right? so big, broke to the upside, and we had a retest of that breakout. This bar came to retest it, and as you can see, this is a bullish engulfing, right? It broke out from this inside bar, giving us a clear move to the upside. So we're seeing a clear move to the upside. So if you look at BTC now, so BTC is still on a sideways. You can see it. It is not clearly out of the sideways movement. So this breakout here could end up being a fake out. So if I should draw a box, on this, let me draw a triangle box to connect this whole sideways move, and you will see something. So this box is going to represent our upper channel and our lower channel to easily help us identify the support and resistance zone, and as well see the breakout where it happened. It's easier when we use a box to represent. So if you look at the box, you're going to see it's clearer now. We see the breakout, we see the retest. It's easy to notice right now. So you see this is our touch, this is another a touch here, which we had a fake out. Look at it, like a teaser right here. It broke out and it came back straight into the box, right? So we see another testing here of this resistance, another test again, another test. But on the downside, we're seeing that so if you look closely, you see that this trend line, this particular trend line, right, this particular sideways move can easily break down. Why? Because it is not as strong as the lower support below it, right? So you can see the retest of our box. But does it mean that this support cannot act as a strong support to lift Bitcoin up all the way to 25k after retesting this box that it broke out from, because you can see the sideways movement that started all since this December 17 all up till now, Christmas Day. Is it that this trend line that has been respecting for days now can't take it up to 25k? Well, it's very possible, but from the way things are looking, we need to see this volume keeping up. If this volume keep up, we could see this 25,200 zone being tested, right? Then as after being tested, it's going to come back to retest this trend line. So we have two options. We could see price breaking down again to test this support here around 23,600 to 23,500. So that's the option we had. But right now the bulls are still keeping things good, so we could be seeing more move to the upside. This box that broke has to hold. So for now, I'm not rushing into my entry, but I see 25k is still possible from here. It's very possible, 25k, based on the pressure I'm seeing right now. 25k, we could be seeing 25k hitting. So we see price respecting the 20 exponential moving average. So I see this 20 exponential moving average guiding price to 25k, at least 25,200, before it comes to retest it again and probably come to this lower trend line. If this pressure continues, we could see more move to the upside. On BTC, so I'm hoping that before probably the end of the year, we could be seeing 25k. Like, I'm even looking at, if we look at our daily chart, it's very interesting right now for BTC since it broke out of this box. Look at our daily chart. Did you see that breakout? Did you see that breakout? So I'm expecting this today's breakout to hold. You see that breakout? So if I should so you look at the box. This is our box. So you see this resistance making double top, but that shows not double top in terms of BS going to push price down, but this double top ended up being a bull pressure, right? So, and that's why we see this pressure that push price to the upside, right? So if today being the first time that BTC is breaking out, this is the first bar on the daily, if this bar holds up, we could be seeing more upside that could break this channel, right? And test like a bull run that goes to 25k. That is the best chance that the bears have to push price down, because if they fail, we could be seeing this upper trend line breaking. But if the bear pressure increases when we get to 25k zone, it's likely we're going to see a dump to come and test. First, there's a support here, there's another support, there's another support. So there's really a chunked up support right now on BTC's side, and that's why you're seeing the bull pressure increasing. Instead of making a lower low, you see the bars making higher lows, right? Even on the daily chart, you can see the higher lows, and then we have a breakout today. We have a breakout. Bitcoin making a new high today. This is a total new high around 24. You see a new high on 24,700 zone, right? So that's beautiful zone. So we could be seeing more move to the upside. Like, this chart is interesting. It's really interesting since I saw this breakout. Now we just have to wait and see that this breakout holds on the daily chart. Now that's for those who are long-term traders. Now if you're someone who is day trading, you could get a better entry, right? So if you look at the 1 hour chart, see what I'm telling you. Like, so we look at our day trading, we see better entry. We see that the 20 exponential moving average, that is the white one, is still guiding price. Like, we had a break of the box, we had a retest of the box, and when it retested the box, we see the 20 exponential moving average actually catching that dump. Like, the sell-off is being caught by the 20 exponential moving average, which is a good sign, right? Because there's no sign of breaking through or piercing of the 20 exponential moving average, which shows buy pressure, right? There's a buy pressure, and we see this crawl up movement crawling out of the box, and price has successfully crawled out of the box. Once price crawls above this last high, we're going to see a really strong pump, right, that will go to all the way to this 25k. So once we cross this last high, we're going to see a really good buy pressure to the upside. If BTC doesn't make it above this last high, it could fall back into the box. And if BTC comes back into this box, that's not a good sign. That's a total bad sign. Because if it pierces this 20 exponential moving average, it's definitely coming to this 55 exponential moving average, which is around 23,600 king. But we have a trend line, right, which has been respected for quite some time. See, this trend line is being respected by BTC. So you see countless time it's being respected by this trend line. So we could see it coming down to the trend line, which would be a very good buy sign, because this breakout right now is not totally out of this box. It could end up still acting as a fake breakout, but we need buy pressure to continue. If this buy pressure, the volume keeps up, like you can see the first volume, it was quite good, right, in the breakout. I need to see a follow through of this buy signals I'm seeing here. I'll need a follow through. Is that follow through that will determine if this breakout is going to hold. Remember, it's still on a daily breakout. It's not totally out of the box, so anything can still happen as long as price is stalling. I don't like to see a stalling of price after a box or a resistance is broken, right? I want, once let there be a stalling, like a pre-breakout tension building, and once I like this breakout tension that built up here. So yes, we could be seeing more bull pressure on BTC right now. We could be seeing more bull pressure coming on BTC as volume keeps growing. So 25k is likely right now on BTC. 25k is the target on BTC from the current zone. XRP. So looking at this chart on XRP, you can see that we are likely going to still see a retest of this bottom before we have a move to the upside. Please, if you're watching, kindly share out to your friends to join us on this live analysis. And if you find this analysis helpful, kindly subscribe. So XRP, our target is around 0.48, right? We're going to see a pull up to 0.48 to 0.5 zone, right? So that will be our target from this current point. From this current zone, we could be seeing 0.445 to 0.5 zone. So a good leverage of 2x will do a beautiful job right here. From this current zone, this should be our target on XRP. We could see the pull up Now this is the daily chart. So what we're having here, we are seeing now this breakout is going to take a while because we're seeing some sideways movement, right? Because this is an inside bar, right? So our expectation is that this inside bar breaks to the upside and make it to 0.44, right? That's what we're expecting. So once it crosses 0.44, which was the exact point where the breakdown happened, right? 0.44, that was where the breakdown took place the last time before we had this huge sell-off that took place. So we are likely going to see this buy that we cover this candle, right? And then we can now have a 2-bar reversal on probably the weekly chart. And once we get that 2-bar reversal, it's going to increase the pressure to more buyers to join the pull-up, right? Because right now we need more buyers to join, because the volume right now is still not looking too strong on the daily. But knowing the support, the kind of support right now that BTC is, and forming this inside bar, now inside bar is a good reversal bar, right? But sometimes we're going to see a retest of the bottom. That's why I put this this arrow right here. So it could give us something like the W shape, double bottom shape, right? So we could have something like this, something going like this. Let me use my drawing pen. So we could have something like this that looks like this. Nah. What was that? Let me do that again. So we're going to get something like this. Goes like this, like this, and like this. So we have this W shape that could break out, right? So that's a very good possibility we are having right there. Let me use purple for that color to give us. So you see what I mean. So we have this W shape pattern, which is more like a double bottom, right? That's like a double bottom, right? So that is if buyers don't follow up here, they would like to see a better. So the options we are going to buy now, for you to buy XRP, this is what we're going to observe. Is first we need a breakout of this sideways inside bar, right? Because this inside bar represents sideways on a lower time frame. Now mind you, this is the daily chart, so we need a breakout of this sideways, right? We need a breakout to the upside to confirm the buy entry, right? If we don't see this breakout and probably we see another inside bar, it means we have to be patient with our entry, right? It is likely we're going to see this bottom retesting, right? We are likely going to see the retest of this bottom, and this time around it's going to fall on the second support, right? And if I zoom in, you're going to see the second support. This is what the same thing happened here, right? You see, this is the second support where it broke out first before the support the resistance. This is a resistance. It broke the resistance, then the resistance became support. It went sideways for a while before going up. So we're going right now, the support where it is standing on is this first support here. That's the first support, right? That's our first bottom. So to get a double bottom that could be strong, it could break this second support and just go just below it. But the chances right now, based on what we are seeing here, is 50-50. Why am I saying it's 50-50? Because this breakout could take place, right? Because where XRP is accumulation zone. is back to the accumulation zone. So imagine the breakout that happened here, which was out of the accumulation that has gone on for a long time. Now it is back to that accumulation zone, telling you that the buy zone is where XRP is now. So selling, I don't see much sell pressure anymore hitting XRP from here. I don't see much sell pressure. So even if the sell pressure is going to come, it's going to come to retest the bottom of this point. It will come to retest it and then giving us a very strong bullish pattern called the double bottom, and that will be what we break XRP to the upside, and this is going to happen in January, right? So if this pull up happens to complete the current triangle forming, if I take away this W shape, if I take it away, you see that we are having a triangle forming on XRP, right? So we had our first touch and we had our second touch. Now it's coming down to touch the bottom of the triangle, but this triangle, which happens to be a descending triangle, is going to break up to the upside. So it's not, we are not going to likely expect the downside breakout. Rather, we're going to see a retest of last low, right? So this is as a result of the double. If I zoom in like this, we're going to see an inverse head and shoulder that led to that pump to the upside, right? That break of this resistance. So XRP right now, so my chart is not loading. I wanted to show you something that this hair, good, we have it here. So if I zoom in, you're going to see an inverse head and shoulder shape, which is a very strong bullish pattern, right? So this becomes our left shoulder. Now it's good to keep these patterns at the back of your mind, because if you put the bigger picture, right, by the time you put all the 1, 2, 3 together, you get a bigger picture of what is likely going to play out. So the news, remember, me in my trading, I get greedy when everybody becomes fearful, and right now I am greedy on XRP. Like, I am buying XRP as much as I can, because this is the buy zone. XRP is back to the accumulation zone. So if you miss the first breakout, this is the sure breakout that is coming. So the news might not affect the pump that is coming to XRP. Why? Because the technical aspect is still looking bullish, right? The technical aspect of XRP is looking very big bullish. So this is our left shoulder, and this is the head, and you can see the right shoulder, and you can see the breakout of the right shoulder. We started having an inverse. If I draw a trend line, so if I draw a trend line to connect the lows that we're having on the daily chart, so let's connect the I need to reload my chart. My chart is lagging right now, so let me reload the chart. I want to reload the chart. Looks like we're having some lagging in the chart. So I'll also be diving into ADA USDT, LTC, Ethereum. I'll be looking into them and seeing what they have in store for us during this Christmas and the gift we can benefit from the crypto community, make some cool money this December before 2020 runs out. We still have a chance of getting ourselves some profit. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video and support us. If you find it useful, please subscribe so that you get notification whenever we are live. I am open for a chat. You can just drop the comments on the comment section and I'll answer any questions you might have in this live analysis. Looks like we're having a lagging. Our system is lagging. So you can see the clear retest of this breakout. You can see it's just a retest of the breakout, and like I said, if I connect the lower trend lines, it becomes a very interesting chart. XRP. I don't know why everybody's getting fearful, but I see a lot of potentials right now in XRP. I wasn't such a huge fan before, but looking at the chart, I see a lot of potentials. Like, this is a great opportunity for XRP because I see this dump being bought by the whales. This is an opportunity they are going to use to back more XRP. Fearful when everybody is greedy. Be greedy when everybody is fearful. And looking at XRP, I see a lot of potential. For 2021, XRP looks good. XRP is going to be one of the top coins in 2021, the way I see it. XRP is going to be one of the top coins. is going to have a lot of move to the upside in 2021 in terms of altcoin. I don't know what's wrong with my trading view, like my system is hanging. Okay. Okay. Thank you for joining us. If you've not subscribed, please kindly subscribe. So that you wouldn't miss any of our updates or live analysis. If you have a question for me, just drop it in that comment section and I will answer any questions that you have. Bitcoin seems to be holding its own position good since the breakout. So we're expecting this breakout to hold. We could be seeing 25k before the end of tomorrow or next tomorrow. We could be seeing 25k from BTC. But I expect some reaction in that 25k zone on BTC. So as the bulls keep crawling to the upside, and as well there's LTC. LTC right now is looking beautiful. LTC is looking beautiful. LTCoin is looking very beautiful right now. I see strong pump in January for LTC. So we could see a reaction here. Here we could see a pullback, right? We see another bar opening up to pull back. So today we are expecting that this bar closes to the upside. So one of the strongest looking coin right now in the market is Litecoin. Litecoin. So you look at Litecoin, you see Litecoin has been on accumulation for quite some time, and since the December period, since around December, beginning of December, we had a breakout from this accumulation zone, and it's heading for at least 300. See, I am expecting 300 in Litecoin in 2021. Yes, I think Litecoin is a very beautiful investment right now, that if you invest in, you're going to make some good money. And in terms of altcoin recommendation, so we could be seeing a reaction around that 149 to 150 zone, right? So once Bitcoin gets to that 140 to 150 zone, we could see some reaction, right? We see it breaking out from this sideways, and we can see that this is the first breakout from this sideways move on the daily chart. Thank you for joining us once again. If you have not subscribed, please kindly subscribe as we bring you live analysis on the crypto community, daily altcoin recommendations. We also analyze live charts, and you get signals where to buy and where to sell on our daily live streams. So if you stay tuned by subscribing, you're going to get notification each time we go live. So we see Litecoin preparing for yet another breakout, right? So it broke out from this first sideways move. Now my box, I use the box to represent sideways move, right? So I need to extend this box, this one right here. So you can see our boss. We see Litecoin breaking out, and right now it's breaking out. We're likely going to see 140 zone. We're going to see Litecoin hitting 140. Right now it's on this sideways movement, so we could see 140 where it will come down to retest this 20 exponential moving average and retest the break of this box. but things look good from here. So you can see the resistance zone is just right on the 125 zone, right? So we can see a breakout for this 125 zone that could reach 140 to 150 on LTC. So if you're buying LTC, you have a chance of making some good profit on LTC. As you can see, volume is still looking good. So you can see that it's trying to crawl out of this resistance, which happens to be our neckline. If we go to the weekly chart, on the weekly chart. So if you buy LTC right now and you're buying to hold from now to the first quarter of 2021, you could be making at least, I see LTC going to at least $300 on LTC. That's how good it's looking on the weekly chart. LTC looks beautiful for 2021. So we could be seeing somewhere around that $300 zone on LTC. So you see the double bottom on LTC, right? See why I said our LTC is looking very interesting. If I look at LTC, I see a double bottom on LTC, right? So this is our LTC. This is why LTC is a good buy right now. So you see that W shape, and this is our neckline, right? This is our neckline. And you see that W shape, you see price coming all the way to hit our support. So we had a sideways movement that lasted from 2018 all the way to 2020. So just like the breakout that has happened in BitCoin, it is yet to happen in LTC. So you see this volume building up, right? Which is a very beautiful thing. So since last week, LTC is a fresh breakout on the altcoin. So we just had the first bar move to the upside, and as you can see, we're having a follow through. You can see our follow through buy on LTC. This is our follow through. So we're likely going to see this 140 to 150. So what is the target on LTC? So we're likely going to be testing the last high, right? So targets will be around 300. I stated here, I said famous W button on LTC, right? So we could be seeing minimum of $300 around February ending to beginning of March, right? We're going to see that move. So if you buy LTC at the end of this December, target will be around 300 zone. Good profit in 2021 for LTC. So 25k, we're still looking at 25k on BTC, right? So we're still seeing the bull pressure continuing. So we're likely going to see a move to this upside, 25k. So looking at XRP, we can see that it is still hovering around the support area. So I am still expecting a move up. We can still see some pull up. So we're likely going to see a pull up, likely to test the So we could likely see a move, like I said, is that I will see a move breaking this support to retest this bottom. But most likely, from the way things are looking, we're likely going to see another push to this upside here, as long as price is still respecting this trend line. Now, price has to keep respecting this trend line, else we could see this whole bullish engulfing being consumed by the BS, right? And once that happens, because right now it is yet to cover the bullish engulfing that happened here, right? So this is the first time price move up. It is likely going to retest the low. Now the low of any trend is always retested, right? The reason why the low is always retested, just like the high, is because it's going to likely check if it's going to price is trying to find if it's going to find buyers, right? So if price finds enough buyers, it's going to make a double bottom shape, and we're going to have a move to that upside. So right now, this trend line is what we are looking at to hold up. And from the look of it, we're still seeing the bull pressure each time that it touches the trend line. You see a bull pressure where there's a buy pressure, like there's a stalling. So I would also like to see a sideways movement in this zone. That if that sideways movement will tell you that we are likely having some accumulation, but if price just move up, it can easily drop back. So we need to see that sideways movement, right, on this support. A sideways movement, just like it did here, right? You see the result was there was a breakout to the upside, which gave us a buy pressure. So we need a sideways movement to confirm this entry to the upside, right? To break this resistance, because right now as it is, there's a resistance right here, right? And this resistance need a strong buy pressure to be able to break through in XRP. Why? Because there are so many. If you look at the chart, you find that some people are afraid to buy at the current zone. So we need a good confirmation to confirm our buy entry, right? So the first buy entry was here, right, when we had a breakout, right? So this is the retest of that breakout. So we expect that retest to hold. We expect our resistance here to become our support, since it caught the second pullback, giving us a higher low. Now mind you, this is a higher low, which is a good sign. A higher low is a price action pattern that shows you there's now change in the market structure. So we want to see change in the market structure. And how are we going to see that change in market structure if this higher low holds, right? So right now is a higher low, but we are not seeing it holding yet. We can't conclude that it is holding yet until we see price pulling up, right, from the current zone. And with this red bar pullback, we find out that if this red bar doesn't succeed in covering this bull bar here, we're going to see the next bar likely breaking up to the two upside, because if you can see, this is the double top bar that took place here, right? So we're going to see the next bar likely breaking the top of this bar to the upside, or we're going to see, if it breaks below it, we're going to see price testing this low and stacking. We're going to see accumulation going on in this particular zone. So that's what we are expecting to see, some accumulation on XRP, or else if we don't see that accumulation, then if it keeps going the way it's going, then it's likely going to break down if we don't see that accumulation. So we need some accumulation going on in this particular support zone to validate our entry. So we are not going to rush into entering this market on XRP. So we're going to need to see something that happens, like something in this zone. We need to see accumulation, and then we enter on the breakout. So here likely we're going to see some accumulation going on sideways, and then we see a breakout. That will give us a better confirmation of our entry. If not, if we don't see that sideways, then we are likely not going to see the support that is strong enough to hold it. So it is likely going to come back to retest our stronger support, which is around 0.22 zone, and that is not what we want to see. We want to see price stalling and showing accumulation, and price moving to the upside. So when we look at BTC on the other hand, okay, looking at BTC is forming an interest, and like I said earlier, I said we do not want to see BTC coming back to retest this box, right? That was why I was like, let's wait to see some sideways and it breaking the stop. Then we're likely going to see more move to the upside. So the first entry we had is here. So if we're going to get a retest, right, so we are expecting our 20 exponential moving average to keep guiding price, right? We don't want price breaking down into this box. And as you can see that our 20 exponential moving average right now is hanging just below the box. So this is our 20 exponential moving average. So if it's going to pull back, we want the pullback to stop here, right here, right? So if it goes below it, it becomes a double top, right? We don't want a double top situation. So we want price to pull back, style around this 24k zone, 24k and 23,900 zone, right? Price move sideways, and if worst case scenario, we have price coming to test the lower support, like we have support here, right? So what we're expecting is price to respect this trend line, right? Respect this inner trend line that has been guiding it, right? So we don't want that break to enter. So that was why I was like, the entry of this price, the entry of this trade is not best at this point, because we are seeing this stalling of price after the break of the box, and we don't want that. We don't want that stalling of sideways immediately after a break. It just means that there's not enough traders interested at the current price, so price will definitely look for a stronger support zone. So we are looking at this 20 exponential moving average. Just below it, we are also seeing this 55 exponential moving average. Just below it, we are also seeing a trend line being respected all the way down from the last support. So as you can see that there is stacking of support below the current zone, and that is why we keep seeing this buy pressure growing, right? Because of this support. That's why the support was caught by the 20 exponential moving average, and we expect it to stop around this 24,100 to 23,900 zone. So we're likely going to see that happen. So let's wait and see. So like I said, entering a trade at the break of a box after a retest that we don't see that urgency that we saw during the break is not a good looking thing for us. And we see that this our bull bar was totally consumed, giving us a lower low here. So we have to be very careful about entering trade at this zone. So let's wait for this pullback, and we have this pullback that will take us all the way up. So that will be our best entering zone. Kindly like to support us, like this video to encourage us, subscribe so that you get notification when next we are live. So we're expecting XRP to respect this trend line. Once it breaks this trend line, we could be seeing it retesting this support right here. So what we're expecting is we have a pull up at this current zone, right? we're expecting a sideways movement and then pull up to retest this 0.45 zone. So we could see this 0.5 zone retest, 0.45 zone. So that's what we're expecting from this current. So we see BTC is having an inside bar as well. So we could, like I said, we could be seeing BTC pulling back to this 23,600, right? So we could see a pullback on BTC before we have this 25k retest, right? Because of this tallying after the breakout of the box, right? The first time we had a fake breakout here, a teaser, and then we had a pullback after the breakout. We had a pullback to retest the box. Then it started forming a sideways just above the box. So we could have this inside bar, because right now we have an inside bar just above the box. Right, we have an inside bar here. We have an inside bar here. So this inside bar is a sign of sideways movement, right? And sideways movement means breakout could happen to any side. So we could have our breakout happening here. So we could have the breakout . Find this video helpful, kindly support us by liking our video. Support us with your like, support us with your comments. Tell us what you think about this video, what you think we can do to improve. You can join the Machiavelli traders on TradingView by clicking the link under this video. So we could be having a breakout, like, okay, this is how to trade an inside bar, right? This is the inside bar. So we're expecting a breakout of the bar before the inside bar. So we're expecting a breakout of this inside bar to the upside, because this inside bar signifies that there is a sideways movement, right? In the lower time frame. This is a 4 hours time frame. This is a 4 hours in time frame on BitCoin. So to trade a sideways and to trade an inside bar, which is a sideways movement, you're going to need a breakout. So the breakout is likely going to happen to any side. You can't really say, because of it's an inside bar. An inside bar means there is equilibrium between the bulls and the bars, and the bears. And for us to know which side the pressure is on, meaning we are likely going to see this breakout happening either on the downside or on the upside. So we are going to wait to see price breaking through these trend lines. So this sideways movement, we need price. If price breaks through the downside, we have a support around the 23.6 600 to 23,500 zone. That would be our good buy, right? That would be a good point to enter a buy that could hit that 25k. So now another way we could see it happening is breaking to the upside, right? So the upside, how do we know if there is a breakout? Then we need a price to move above this red bar, right? We need price to cross above this red bar, and our entry could be around that 24,600, and we could be targeting this time around we could be targeting 25,200 to 25,300 zone. And if the pressure is strong enough as a result of this accumulation, we could see it piercing or breaking through this our upper trend line. So it depends on the reaction we see from the breakout of this chart pattern we are seeing, this candlestick chart pattern called the inside bar. This is the mother bar. This red one is called the mother bar. So we are waiting for the break of the mother bar to trade the inside bar as a signal, because that's our signal, right? Once we enter, so once we see the breakout, the candle that breaks out becomes the entry bar. So right now we have our mother bar, and this is our inside bar just above the box. So the good entry would be so good if we see if it breaks to the downside. If it breaks to the downside, it must not go below 23,500, because once it do, it's going to come to retest this support here, because this fake out we instantly come to break the downside. You don't want a fake out, because it will come to extend the down aspect of this box. It's going to come to retest the down aspect of this box, and we don't want that, because that will lead to a total reversal. Remember that this inside bar is what led to this breakdown here, right? You see, this is the mother bar, and you see this is the inside bar, and you see the inside bar did not get a good follow through, and that led to a big breakdown. Remember, this mother bar is just what happened here, right? You see our mother bar breaking out, right, and getting rejected, right? So we don't want this mother bar being broken to the downside, because just like here, once the mother bar is broken, it gets a measured move down. So we don't want our mother bar breaking down in this situation. So as we hang on waiting for the breakout on BTC, we are likely going to see 25k still playing out. So our best entry on BTC is to be patient. We have to be a little patient, because why? Price is stalling around the resistance of the channel, and the chances of it breaking down to the downside is high. So we have our mother bar, we have our inside bar, so we are waiting for our entry bar. Now mind you, as long as this mother bar is concerned, it could lead to the reversal of this whole plan, and it's going to bring it all the way down to this support here. That's what the breaking of that mother bar could lead to on the downside. Once it's broken to the downside, we're going to have a measured move, and the measured moves could be going down as low as this point, right? So what we need is the upper break of this mother bar. We don't want the down break of this mother bar. So we have 2 hours to know if we're going to get another inside bar or an entry bar, right? The bar that breaks this particular zone is going to be our signal bar, because we don't want to catch a fake out, because right now it's just stalling. After breakout, it's stalling around the breakout zone. So what we want to see is a pullback that get pulled up again, get bought back, right back instantly. Thank you for joining us. Please kindly subscribe to support us. And if you have any ideas you would like us to elaborate on or discuss or analyze any chart, please comment on this comment section. So we're still waiting for BTC buy entry zone. We're still waiting for XRP buy entry zone. We're still waiting for Altcoin buy entry zone. If you've not subscribed, subscribe so that you wouldn't miss any of our updates. Okay, Carillion is asking, what is your recommendation on XRP? XRP right now, looking at XRP, I think we can get a still better entry. We can still see a pullback on XRP to get a better entry. So this is the first pull up on XRP. So if I go to my XRP chart, let's look at XRP. My recommendation on XRP is to wait for the retest of the last low and let there be a change in market structure. So like I said, we should be seeing a change in market structure for us to take any good trade on XRP, right? So what I expect is XRP make a higher low here. So even if it at most XRP shouldn't cross 0.18, right? It shouldn't cross 0.18. So for us to buy an entry, I think that it is good for us to be patient, to see that it gives us a lower to give us a higher low, right? So I'm expecting it to respect this trend line by giving us a higher low. Now if it gives us a higher low at this point, it gives us a buy signal to enter on this current 0.2928 zone to 0.3. If it can respect the trend line, we could see price moving up to 0.45, right? To 0.5 zone, right? Before we now get another reaction to the downside. But first we need to see price respecting this the trend line before we could see that move up. But in most cases, it is good to wait for a retest of this low, because it is likely going to come low to retest this low to give us a higher low, right? If it doesn't give us a higher low, at least let it give us a double bottom before we can know there's change in market structure. Because if you look all the way from here, you see that XRP has been making lower lows. So the structure is still on the downside, right? we need a higher low to show us that this chain, like here we had a double bottom and you see a reaction to the upside, but it couldn't hold up, and the news combined with the pressure of the breakout that needed to retest gave us a pullback that broke the support of this breakout. So, and we have retested the low of this accumulation zone. So the best entry for XRP, in my recommendation, would be to wait for the retest of this low. We could still see 0.23 entry taking place, so we need to see it giving us a higher low. Just like it gave us a higher low here and we had a pull up, we need a higher low around this zone to give us a signal confirmation of the buy entry on XRP. That's my view on XRP Carillon. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for joining us. So another interesting coin that I'm looking at is BCH and LTC. So if we look at BCH here, we see that BCH has been respecting the market structure. So looking at BCH, we have a very interesting look, and we see that price has been really making bullish attempt on this resistance here, and this is the second attempt to break it, and we see price making higher lows as it's moving. So if I try to connect the lows, so you can see price has been respecting the trend line. You can see the higher lows. If I connect all the lows, so we have some pretty good touches here. So on BCH, we can see that price is going to likely attempt this 370 to 380 zone again, right? So we also have the same kind of pattern playing out in BCH, right? Meanwhile, we are still waiting for BTC to break out from the mother bar and the inside bar formation we're having on BTC. Like I said, it's not safe buying at the current zone. Why? Because if you look at the BTC right now, you find out that BTC has been stalling below the resistance, like I said, just like this zone, right? Just like what it happened. If you look here, if you look closely, let me close this watch list so that you can see it properly clear. So just like what happened here, you see below the trend line, you see it going, it's stalling, it's making this accumulation, it's trying to break the trend line, and then when it fails, you see it going all the way down to retest the lower channel. So we could see the same thing playing out here, and that is why I am very skeptical about this break here, this break we're having here. I'm very skeptical about it, and that's why I said it would be nice to wait to see the breakout of the mother bar that we have that gave us an inside bar. So if you look closely, you see that we have a mother bar right now, and a mother bar also comes with the next bar. A mother bar is a bar that engulfs the next bar, right? So you see this previous bar engulfing this green bar. So if I zoom in, you're going to see it clearly. So this is a candlestick chart reversal chart pattern. Is a bear pattern, but it doesn't really say much about being a bear pattern depending on where you see it, right? And we're seeing it at the top of the channel, very close to the trend line, but we see a gap. There is a gap on the channel, right? And this gap could be we could have a vacuum pull here, right? Magnets, right, to this 25,500, right? So we could have this breakout to test the 25,500 on the upside, and then we have the pullback. But the most likely, we could see that it is a sideways movement above a breakout, which is not a good sign. So we could see it pulling back. That's why I said being patient, we could get cheaper entry than the current zone, and that would determine if we have this mother bar break, will show us what part we can enter our trade. So we're going to be live, and we're going to actually be live when this breakout is going to happen. So we're going to tell you if it's time to buy or time to wait, because patience and timing is everything in terms of trading. Thank you for joining us. If you have not subscribed, please kindly subscribe and support us so that you're going to get notification whenever we are live. And if you have a comment or any coin you would like us to look into, just comment on the comment section. So we are seeing this sideways movement taking place, and we require a lot of patience to trade, but we could see this vacuum filling up to 25k based on what happens on this breakout. If you are live, support us with your like, subscribe, become part of the community. So what we're expecting is that Bitcoin holds up here and break to the upside to fill this vacuum that is here to 25k to 200 to 500 zone. If it fails to hold up to break the mother bar, then we're going to likely see a pullback or probably more dump to the downside. Welcome to Christmas Live Bitcoin Analysis, XRP Analysis, DAT Analysis. XRP trying to hold this trend line. Currently is on a sideways movement on accumulation zone. The question now is, are the bulls going to be able to hold up this trend line so that we can have this zone? Can the bulls hold off, or is there going to be a sell-off that will break this support? So we can see that XRP is likely showing some pullback. So the support we're expecting is that, from the look of things here, we are seeing that this pull up to the 20 exponential moving average was rejected. So what we're expecting is that XRP makes a higher low here to change the market structure for us to enter a buy in this zone. But if we don't see that this support holding, it means we are likely to hold off in our buying and wait for support around this zone to buy. So likely we are still waiting for a good sign for N3, because after these 2 bar reversals are happening on the exponential moving average, and this doji also forming here on the 4 hours chart, and then we are having an inside bar after it. After analyzing the few bars, you find out that there are 2 chances of 2 things happening here. Okay, first of all, we have this bullish engulfing, of which no bar currently has been able to close below it, right? All the close has been still just above the open of the bar, right? It's still bullish engulfing, which means no candle has gone below it. So if there is no breakdown from this trend line to go below it, it means we are likely going to enter our entry buy at this current zone. So we're going to wait for the close of this and wait for a breakout of what happens, or we wait for a good signal buy, because nothing is looking N3 wise right now on XRP. So being a little bit patient with your buy will do you a lot of good to see if this market structure is currently broken, because the current market structure is still on the downside, making lower highs and at the same time lower lows. So you see, all the way from here we've been seeing lower lows all the way down. So we're waiting for that market structure to change and probably give us a higher low. Probably that will be our higher low around this zone. Then we can take an entry to target around the 0.5 zone, right? So let's wait and see if that happens the way we anticipate. If you're just joining us for the first time, please kindly subscribe so that you're going to get notification. You understand? I like the fact that you're joining us today, and I really want to say I appreciate you taking the time to view this video. If you find it helpful, well, your likes is going to help the next person check this video out, and also help the next person grab something from the video, and also help me grow as well. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share this video to your loved ones and anyone who is interested in buying XRP, or who you know that is holding XRP bag right now, because this is a live analysis of XRP, right? We're checking and trying to find where we can get a buy zone, right? The current market structure still remain bullish on the higher time frame, so we are still capitalizing on the support in the current zone, that we're going to see some change in the market structure for us to be able to take in a trade. Thank you for joining us. Remember, this analysis also include ADA USDT, also include Litecoin, as well as BCH, that's Bitcoin Cash, as well as Ethereum. So we are going to be going into analysis of all this coin, but the major focus here is XRP, right? Ripple is the major focus here, because after the news, a lot of people has been asking me a question: what do you think we should do with XRP? Do you think I should dump my bag? Do you think I should sell my bag? Well, for me, I am my opinion, the way is, I feel that this news is not going to take XRP as down as people are thinking is going to take XRP, because of the accumulation that has been going on for quite some time. So when we look at 15 minutes chart, we're trying to get a closer view of what is happening on the lower time frame. Remember what we were looking earlier was the 4 hours chart, and we're seeing that the change in market structure is becoming obvious. So you can see that we are now having higher lows as well as higher highs. So you can see even here, this high here is still higher than this, even though we have some pretty lower high. It is not, we still keep that lower that higher lows market structure, right, that started all the way from here. So it's still maintaining that trend line. So we are hoping that we don't see the break of this trend line. That's what I'm saying. So if we see a good entry signal, this is our entry zone. So right, so if this pulls back, if it pulls back again and is able to hold off, then we could be looking at buy entry signals. But now you can still see we are still having a lower high, right? So we are still going to be very cautious and conservative about our buying in this zone, right? Even though price broke out of the resistance, right? It stalled, it just went sideways for a while. It could not keep up, and buyers could not keep up. We couldn't find enough buyers, and then it pulled back sharply with strong force, right? You can see the volume, and it was still respecting the trend line. It's still yet to be broken. So let's see how price reacts to this zone. We determine if we're going to get a buy, or we should be looking at a buy signal, or we should still wait for a buy signal, because we could see price still coming to retest this support, to retest this low, right, to know if we're going to find enough buyers in this same low. And we don't want to take a risk, right, that will extend our stop loss. So we want our stop loss very tight. So being patient is going to buy us time and a good entry, right? If you've not subscribe and like this video to support us. So we see price going down to test that trend line. So let's hope that price is likely going to find more buyers on the trend line just here. So that's what we're hoping, that our entry could be here, or if likely I am expecting this zone. So let me use some drawing. I'm expecting this zone. So that could be our buy entry point. So we are likely seeing price breaking out on BTC, and we see price has broken the mother bar as well as the inside bar, which means we are likely going to see 25,500 from here to 25,200 from this current zone. It means that we're going to likely see more upside coming to BTC at this point. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we have XRP going down and is on its way to retest our trend line, and it is a decision time for XRP to decide where it's going to